KCA.
Ocala. Damage control. Damage control. Damage control. Damage control. Damage control. Damage control.
All right, 25 minutes before 11 o'clock. It's time for Damage Control with your host, Joe Reichel. Joe is one of the owners of Damage Control Services, and he's in the studio with Ryan Harder from Allstate. So we're going to learn about insurance and repairing things. And I guess the two go hand in hand, don't they? When you have to repair something. Yeah.
Pretty much.
Good morning to both of you.
Good morning, Larry. And that's
Larry.
really the reason why Ryan and I, when we were talking, we thought it'd be a good idea to have him come on the show.
Yeah.
And we can talk about some different things, and as far as insurance and how it works, and the ins and outs.
It's always one of the questions, isn't it? When somebody has a fire or a flood, the first thing you ask is, do you have insurance?
Yes. Yeah. And typically the next question is, okay, who's your agent? And that's because we, as a disaster restoration company, work closely with the insurance company. The adjuster comes out, and we have a relationship with a lot of agencies like Ryan's with Allstate, and so my phone call, I'm dealing with a homeowner. My phone call is going to be to him and let him know what's happened, and that way we can best work with the customer, their customer, our new customer, and get them taken care of and in the best way possible, and everybody's on the same page.
So I think the one question everybody might have, and do you want the phone lines open, right?
Yes.
So phone in if you have a question, 622-9622. But
we're going to try to stump Ryan.
The question I have is what dictates the dollar amount? So let's say you have a fire in your kitchen, it's not totally destroyed. Joe looks at it. Is the dollar amount that the insurance company covers dictated by the policy, by the amount of damage?
It would be dictated by the limits of the policy would dictate it, less the deductible. So if you had $1,000 deductible, you would have that less. Most contents and stuff like that would be paid at replacement cost. So there are some policies out there that would do an actual cash value, which you want to stay away from, because obviously if you have a television that gets stolen or gets damaged by water, then if they do an ACV, if it's 3 years old, they're not going to give you very much less your deductible. You don't end up with a lot. So you want to watch out that your agent has done replacement cost on your contents. Most of the contracts, as far as structure-wise, would be paid as replacement cost.
And define ACV, what is that?
It's actual cash value.
Oh, okay.
So that would be replacement cost less depreciation.
Oh, okay.
So if your couch is 5 years old, they give you what a 5-year-old couch would be worth versus replacing it. So that's generally how they're dictated there, which your adjuster would come out and take a look at that and kind of assess the damage.
Okay, this is the universal symbol, meaning you have a phone call. And by the way, when you see this, I know Joe knows this, but Ryan, for your sake, if I do this, I'm not asking you to stop saying anything. Just finish your thought, and then you'll know we have a phone call. The phone lines are open if you want to call in. I thought I had a call. Here's one right here. Okay, good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning, guys. Happy holidays to everyone there.
Thank you.
Say, can you start repair work right away in case it's a situation where it needs to be done right away before the insurance company, let's say, cuts a check or gives it okay?
Well,
that's a great question.
It is a great question, absolutely. And it's something that you would definitely want to do, especially if there's some mitigating factors that need to be done. If the roof blew off and there's a thunderstorm coming up, you definitely want to mitigate that loss any further. So
everything that needs to protect from further damage is work that can be done. And I know a lot of times, if something, like say, for example, it's a flood and everything's wet, a lot of times we'll take carpet out, but we're not going to haul it off. We're going to leave it there until the adjuster comes and he can look at it and verify what is there, so that you as the homeowner do get everything taken care of.
Absolutely. And
Are you usually talking maybe like a week or two before it gets cleared through?
The adjuster typically will make contact within
24 hours, same day sometimes, depending on the situation.
And they'll make arrangements to come out there and look at it and start the process. So, sometimes
thank you very much.
You're welcome.
All right,
thanks for the call.
Thank you.
And these are the questions that if we knew them in advance, we might not be have such high anxiety after an event like a catastrophic thing, a tree falling on your house or something.
And it's true, to Joe's point early on, we sell a promise to a customer. It's an intangible product, but our promise is to be there when we have a claim, and you want to deliver, and that's where Joe comes in to help them get back to whole again.
But that's where you guys come into play as far as making sure that everything that they've got is going to be covered. So let's maybe talk about that a little bit. I've got a house, or let's just say I've got a new house. How do I go about getting the right insurance?
As far as a new house, or even a house that you have already that you haven't looked at your coverages in a while, but as far as a new house, if you're going to cover that, you definitely want to go to a company that knows the property market in Florida. That's a huge thing. Down here is definitely a different market than other states. So you want to get somebody that's well versed in the property market. You want to get the house insured for adequate value, replacement cost. There's 3 different values out there. There's assessed value with your taxing body. Your replacement cost is what we calculate, and there's also the market value. Those are 3 different values. A lot of people look at the market value, and sometimes it could be over or under what the replacement cost is. So you want to have an adequate replacement cost estimate done on the house, so in case of a total loss, there's adequate coverage and not only for today, but for the future with inflation. Everything goes up today, so what a roof costs today, 2 years, 3 years from now, you want to have adequate coverage for that.
So speaking about adequate coverage, let's just maybe talk about that for a few seconds. How do I make sure that I'm adequately covered?
Well, that's what you put your trust in us to do that for you. You can look at our property experts that we have that are well versed in the area and know what the cost to rebuild houses. There's anywhere from 70, 80 a square foot for a garage, all the way up to a custom home could be 200, 220 a square foot. So you want to take a look at the attributes of the house is really what dictates that. The square footage, if it's block versus frame, the type of roof. A tile roof obviously would be more expensive than a composition roof to replace. So the attributes of the house, the square footage, the zip code, really is what would be the driver of that. And we have replacement cost estimators that take all that into consideration, along with claims data throughout the state. That it's a driver as well too, to see what stuff's cost. We have a lot of the stuff put into our replacement cost estimators that would keep up to date with what stuff costs. Maybe up in the Panhandle, a house may be 178 a square foot because that's the way they were just rebuilt 3 months ago, where down here it may be 120 a square foot. So you need to have it adequately insured, and sometimes it's higher than you think. A lot of people say, "Oh, I only have a 2,000 square foot house," but it may cost $400,000 to replace that house. So you definitely want to go.
So you need to redo it every year?
You don't need to redo it every year. You need to revisit it occasionally to make sure you're ahead of inflation. That's the huge thing. Some companies will do what they call an inflation guard, which means they'll put a 3 to 5% increase on it every year to hedge inflation. Other companies don't.
So it's the exact opposite of a car insurance then, where the vehicle normally goes down in price. In value.
Yes. So it's the depreciating asset where homeowners, it doesn't cost, more to replace a car 5 years from when you buy it than it did when you bought it. Where with a home, it's going to cost more to rebuild that house 5 years from now than it is now. So it's completely opposite directions.
Wow.
Yeah.
So aside from that difference, I'm guessing that most people know automobile insurance better than they do homeowners insurance, because most people have car accidents more frequently than home accidents. Is that fair to say? No, in your business it seems like it's not, right? But I've never had knock on wood, I've never had a home accident.
If they're more infrequent, but they're more severe. So you might not have one for 5 years, but it might be a $20,000 loss, where a car insurance claim might be $2,000 for a bumper, and you might have it every couple of years.
That makes sense.
But I do find that people will sit down and spend a lot more time on our largest asset most of the time in their life, which is their home, to get it adequately insured, where a lot of times on the auto side, they'll be just shopping price.
Okay.
We need to take our break?
Yeah. Let me get a phone call in here, then I'll squeeze it. I'll just postpone it a second, a couple of minutes. Good morning. You're on the air. Thank you for calling.
Yeah. Good morning. Yes. There's a funny little corner in homeowner insurance. If your home is underinsured and there's a total loss, you will get less than the total amount payout that's in your policy.
Great question.
Just a funny little corner of the law. Yeah, have a good day.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Want to comment on that?
I think what he was saying that if your house is cost $250 to rebuild and you only have a $200,000 policy, once the policy limits are exhausted, he is correct. That you will only get the policy limits. So
it makes sense.
It does, because that's what you're paying for. They do have an endorsement which is called extended replacement costs, so you can add an additional percentage in case of a situation where there would be a deficit. But for the most part, when the limits are exhausted, that's pretty much all you would get.
And are you limited to the value of your home? Can you insure it for more than it's worth?
You can. Florida's a stated value policy state, so which means if the house costs $200 to rebuild and I've insured it for $5 because I feel it's worth more than that, in the state of Florida, the insurance company would have to cut you a check for the full amount. So a lot of the companies are very, very strict on underinsuring and overinsuring.
It's a good idea unless you're not honest. Then it could be somebody's way of taking advantage.
It could be, but it's driven generally by the attributes in a square foot, so it would be very difficult to drive that up without putting false attributes in there. So.
All right, Joe Reichel is here from Damage Control Services. Ryan Harder is here from Allstate Insurance, and you're located right across the street from the mall.
I am on 200.
And so we'll take a little break. We'll be right back. The phone calls are interesting. If you want to call, you're welcome and invited to do that. The number is 622-9622. We'll be right back.
The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Safe boating is no accidents. Clouds will limit sunshine this Tuesday. A warm, humid day with an afternoon shower in spots, high 81 to 85. Partly cloudy and warm Tuesday night with areas of fog late into tomorrow morning. In the overnight, those 68 to 72. Later Wednesday, clouds and some sunshine, a warm high 83 to 87. Thursday, Christmas Eve, partial sunshine, warm and humid high 82 to 86. From the Florida Weather Center, I'm meteorologist Joe Lundberg.
Ooh, ouch. Does pain have you glued to the couch? Yes, unfortunately it's true that every year we must get older, but that doesn't mean we have to deal with pain in our back, knees, or shoulder. If your muscles and joints are sore, don't worry anymore. Come get acupuncture from me and you'll be pain-free. Acupuncture starts as low as $35 at a Better You Healthcare. Call me, Dr. Erica Olstein, at 615-5566. Stop your pain from driving you insane.
We're saving thousands with Robert Palmer.
So rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around. If you're trying to get a mortgage, if you're trying to get the best credit card, if you're looking at student loans, cell phone bills, you name it, rule number one is always shop around. Always shop around.
That's rule number one, just one more vital part of fighting back to stop being a financial zombie. Yes, you can take the mystery out of the complicated world of finances. Take charge when it comes to your money. Listen in on The Source, 96.3 FM and 1370 AM, Saturdays at 12:05.
You've got a garden and we've got a show for you called You've Got a Garden with your host, Master Gardener Carol Ann Baldwin. Carol Ann answers your questions about your flowers, your veggies, your grass, your trees, even questions about your bugs. And she's only on WOCA, so don't miss Carol Ann Baldwin and You've Got a Garden each Tuesday from 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. right here on WOCA The Source.
Where am I going to hide the presents so my family can't see what I got them for Christmas? Hey, I know. Neighborhood Storage has units for only $20 till the end of the year. Yep, Elf Storage. With 20 locations, Neighborhood Storage is easy to find and use and only $20. Elf Storage. I mean, Neighborhood Storage. So when you rent the unit before the end of the year and mention WOCA, get a free t-shirt. Neighborhood Storage. I like it. New customers and additional units only. Restrictions apply. See store for details.
All right, 10 minutes before 11 o'clock. Am I reading that right? Wow. Time flies, doesn't it?
This is the quickest half hour of my day.
So if you have any questions from Joe or from Ryan, the number again is 622-9622. And, of course, we'll need your number, Ryan, and Joe, the contact information in addition to the phone numbers.
So recently, Ryan, you moved here to Ocala to take over the Allstate agency.
A retiring agency, Allstate agency, absolutely, yes.
And that's located, if the listeners know where the mall is, basically directly across 200.
Yes, College Park Plaza.
Right there next to the
golf store there, yeah. Domino's, Subway.
Yep.
So we're phone number if you need to contact us is 352-854-7166, or you can reach me by email, ryanharder@allstate.com.
So what made you want to open up an Allstate agency? How did that start there?
Well, Most of my background comes from the underwriting side of it, so that's really where I've got most of my knowledge. So I've been, working with companies, rating the policies as far as the homeowners in the state of Florida. So that's generally where the knowledge came from. So I decided I just wanted to come out and help people protect their assets and protect what's most important to them, which is their family, their home, their car, all their assets, retirement, their future hopes and dreams. So that's generally one of the big reasons why I came out to the other side of the desk.
So instead of starting all over, you bought into the retiring agent's office, and you have the staff in play there.
I do.
How many are on staff there at your agency?
We have 4 on staff there. We have our two producers, count reps that have been there many years with us, Ricardo Concha and Dana Ingram. She's been there about 3 years. Ricardo's been there about 6. Both have a lot of knowledge in the auto and the homeowners world. They definitely would be considered specialists, both the auto and the home. And we also have Vicki Fleiner, who's been with Allstate 28 years.
Wow.
So she's our office manager, retention specialist. She wears many hats in the agency, so a great asset to have. Brings a lot of knowledge, not only for me, but for the agency and for our customers. And Crystal, up front, Crystal Heichman, she's been with us about 2 years, and she's basically a customer service rep, handles the front door, the front lines. People coming in the door, greets them, helps them with their billing issues, etc. So she's a great asset to the company. And so that's really our staff there, and great longevity that we have with the company.
Okay, so you're the face of the company now.
Yes.
So I call you. I have a question with my insurance. I don't have to worry that you're the only one that can answer that question. It's kind of what I'm hearing from you.
Absolutely. Any one of my staff can answer any question. Any question that was posed today, they can answer it just as well as I can. So they have a great knowledge base. The Florida market, obviously, we have a lot of companies that we can write with. So there's a lot to keep track of, and our staff is on top of all those guidelines for each company and can provide the best quote for each house and individual risk.
So let me ask you that a question. How do I know? Okay, I've got a home. I'm just kind of asking a broad question here, but I've got a home and I want to get it insured. How do I know which is going to be the best policy for me? Is that something that you or your staff, you're going to guide the client through the questions and figure out the best for them, or?
Yes, that's exactly what we would do. We do a needs analysis for each customer individually, and find out exactly what company fits the guidelines for the house best. Some of the houses are a little bit older, some of them are newer. Some companies have an appetite for some older structures. Some companies just have an appetite for the newer stuff, 2-story, 1-story, hip roofs, gable roofs, block houses, stuff like that. So our team knows exactly what company, based on the needs of the customer, to place them with. Best contract that's available, best deductible, best price, best service. So that's exactly how we would analyze exactly where we would need to place them.
Awesome.
Mm-hmm.
So that's something that, with my show, a lot of times what I tell Larry and we're telling the listeners is make sure that you know what is covered in your homeowner's policy. If you have a flood or if you have a fire, make sure that you know, and those are questions that you get answered by talking to your insurance agent and making sure, asking him those, or him or her, those questions, and making sure that if a disaster happens, that you are covered.
Yes.
So, that's one thing as far as when, on my side of it, we're coming in after the disaster. You're coming in before the disaster, hopefully to make sure that they have all the coverages that they need.
By the time you're involved, we want to have everything covered. It's not the time to, revisit your policy after the fact and hope that you had additional living expenses or, debris removal or, adequate, coverage as far as the roof. Some companies will sell, if a roof, they'll sell an ACV, which we talked about earlier, where you only put on an actual cash value price for the roof versus replacement cost. So
Right.
a lot of people think, oh, the roof's covered. It is, but instead of getting $10,000, you might get $3,000. So you need to put your trust in your trusted advisor and make sure that he's doing his job and reviewing those with you and make sure that the coverage is there for you when you need it.
And I liked whenever Larry, you mentioned again the ACV. Larry asked what that meant, and a lot of times because we use these terms all the time, it's second nature to us. But as a homeowner, if you're sitting down with your agent and they say something that you don't understand,
ask questions.
Ask the question. What does that mean? Wait, back up. Make sure.
Yeah, there's a lot of jargon used.
Right.
In both of your industries, right?
Acronyms, yes.
Yeah, and we don't mean to ever confuse, but if it happens, it's good to ask those questions and make sure that it doesn't. So real quick, I know we're talking about home and personal belongings today a little bit. You guys as an insurance agency, as an Allstate agency, you also do automobile.
Yes.
Life insurance.
Commercial
insurance.
Business, homeowners, renters, condo. Travel trailers, boats. We have great rates on motorcycle, some of the best in the state for motorcycle insurance. Pretty much anything that, any need that you have, we can cover it. We would have a company that we partner with, if Allstate doesn't write it, that we're able to get you coverage. So absolutely, give us a call.
So if there's an insurance question or a need,
yes, we can cover it.
It's a matter of reaching out to you.
Yes.
And what was that phone number again to call?
Give us a call, 352-854-7166.
And once again, they're located directly across from the mall here on College Road, and that's 3131 Southwest College Road.
Yes.
So you can stop in there at the office, and
absolutely,
there's more than likely going to be one of the agents available.
Absolutely. There's always somebody available there to help you out, and you can walk in at any time. We'll get you a quote and get you covered and earn your business.
This might go maybe without asking, but I'm just going to ask anyway. The health care laws now, would the health care you sell, I guess, satisfy the mandate that everybody has to buy?
We do, and we have Allstate benefits that we offer some of the stuff that way. But as far as a major medical plan or something through a Blue Cross Blue Shield and stuff like that, that obviously would be something that someone would probably. I mean, we can direct people to partners that we'd be able to help out there.
So if somebody qualifies for the subsidies, can they team up with Allstate in order to get those to get that coverage with the subsidies?
Yes, but I believe that open enrollment ended on Friday.
For January 1st.
Yes.
But there's another one. There's another one that ends January 1st for February 1st.
Yeah,
or something
I
like
think
that. Yeah.
It's usually a few weeks before they can get the policy in force.
And then that's it for the next year. I guess we got two periods.
It is for open enrollment, yeah, there. So it's and then it would be a matter of not having a qualified plan. When you went to file your taxes.
Yeah.
So
my goodness,
it is.
But you can get it all in one place.
We can.
Car, house, health, life, right?
Accident, cancer policies, disability, you name it, we have it.
So once again, real quick, Ryan, what's your phone number there again?
352-854-7166.
So thank you, Ryan Harder with Allstate, the agency right across the street here from the mall, for being my guest today. And if you have any questions, you can always call me. 352-817-6574, or you can reach me directly on my email, joe@damageflorida.com.
Very good. Nice to meet you. Thank you so much for coming in. Thank you, Joe.
Thank you.
And call us if you need any of that information repeated. We will take a little break and be right back.
Broadcasting from the Paddock Mall Studios, this is WOCA, Ocala, Gainesville, The Villages, 1370 AM, 96.3 FM, The Source.
Fox Fox News Radio, I'm Lillian Wu. Donald Trump still leading GOP presidential hopefuls in major polls, but competitor Carly Fiorina says she would make the better choice.
Well, look, I'm running for president because I think Hillary Clinton cannot be our president. I can beat Hillary Clinton. Donald Trump cannot.
Speaking to Fox News Channel, the latest Quinnipiac national poll showing Trump ahead.
With 28% support. Ted Cruz is a close second with 24%, followed by Marco Rubio and Ben Carson. This as Trump wants Democratic frontrunner Hillary Clinton to apologize for suggesting ISIS is using him as a recruitment tool.
There is no video at all, and that's been now confirmed.
Clinton suggested terrorists are circulating videos of Trump talking about Muslims.
Fox Radio's Rachel Sutherland. And Ford is recalling more than 300,000 older, large cars to fix a problem with headlights that can go dark and cause a crash. Fox News, we report. You decide.
Paying off credit cards can get expensive, and it can be an endless hassle to get a loan at a bank, which is why there is now another way to get the money you need at a competitive fixed interest rate without the hassles, fees, and risks. It's called Avant. Your loan through Avant can be approved in minutes